It was a men's group. It was when I first getting sober. Difficult time. I needed rebooting. I needed to wake the up in some areas. And it just meant a lot to me. When I've stepped I'm pretty good at taking responsibility for it and owning up to it. Getting my arms around it pretty quickly and really, it became a thing for me. It was really like something I'd look forward to. And now it's a quest to, what do I do with this? How can I write this? And make sure it doesn't happen again, or I'd just be better. Be better.
So we've got some brand new content that's just come out from Brad Pitt, where he's talking about his journey not drinking alcohol. Brad Pitt does go to Alcoholics Anonymous. He mentions this in the interview. I do feel like they kind of forced the content out of him. He didn't really want to open up too much, but we did get some good stuff, and it's brand new stuff. So let's see what Brad Pitt has to say about stopping drinking alcohol. There's still loads that we can take away from this. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online, and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now.
When you first get there, are you thinking, like when it's going around, are you thinking, are people going to talk about me?
So they're talking here about Alcoholics Anonymous.
So I've heard of stories where like Philip Seymour Hoffman went to one and someone videoed it and put it out.
Yeah, see, that's scary.
But I'd been assured by another friend this was a safe place. I am a stubborn fuck, but I am also, when I've stepped in shit, I'm pretty good at taking responsibility for it and owning up to it. And now it's a quest to, what do I do with this? How can I write this? And make sure it doesn't happen again, or I'd just
be better.
Yeah, be better. So I was really open to that. And I was really open to see what these guys were doing who had their thing and been there for a while. Sure, I was a bit shy. I'm generally be a bit shy in any kind of situation first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just remember getting my arms around it pretty quickly and really, it became a thing for me. It was really like something I'd look forward to.
The interesting thing here is he just said that he was at a place where he didn't want to go back. He wanted a permanent solution to the problem.
You're at this meeting. We're going to get into the fact that a bazillion famous people have come to this meeting and everyone's used to it. And then you came in, it was pretty overwhelming. And I got a real sense of what your experience is. You have the power of when you are in a place, everyone can't stop thinking about you. And I was like, God, he has to be aware of that. What does that feel like? That's a lot to deal with. How is he ever going to open up and be honest in this space? And I was like, he must have a stubbornness like I have, which is like, all this is going on, but I refuse to let it.
I was pretty much on my back.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is human. Everybody looks at people like this like they're some superhero, but he's got his own struggles. He's got his own problem. Now, I'm not sure if this meeting is a public meeting. I have actually spoke to somebody in the past who said he went to a meeting in California and he said that there was a mega famous person there. He said it was absolutely hilarious. He felt like he should have paid to be there. So I have no idea if this is a publicly available meeting that anybody can just walk into, because the person who I spoke to said he got an invite from a friend and this person was pretty successful. So this may be some kind of like celebrity level AA meeting where you've got to be somebody or know somebody to get in there. I don't know, but let's continue.
On my knees, and I was trying anything and anything anyone threw at me. It was a particular difficult time. I needed rebooting. I needed to wake the fuck up in some areas.
Yeah, and I know exactly how he feels. Just that place of desperation, like I'll do anything. And that's how I felt. When I went to AA meetings, I felt the exact same way. For me, the problem broke down with the steps, with the actual process that you're supposed to do, where you call yourself an alcoholic, give yourself up to a higher power, then you got to go and make amendments to people and then recruit more people. This is where it all broke down for me. But the actual meetings, I mean, there were some good things in them.
Yeah, the first is, oh my God, it's coming around. It's coming around. It's getting closer. It's going to be yours. Yeah. But everyone was so open.
It's contagious, right?
It is. It gives you permission in a way to go, okay, I'm going to step out on this edge and see what happens. And then I really, I just really grew to love it.
Yeah, and it is kind of a shame that they don't go deeper into the topic and talk about, his opinion on the 12 steps and so on. And I really feel like they were dragging the topic out of him. I don't think he wanted to fully open up, which is understandable. It's a very private problem. But let's continue.
When another dude shares so honestly,
Yeah.
and open about his struggles and his defects, and it gets to you, don't you feel like you owe
Obligated.
him that honesty in return?
I'm not quite sure how to feel about that. When I went to AA meetings and I'd hear people talk about all the bad things that have happened in their life or were happening in their life, it didn't really make me feel good. I found it quite draining. Personally, I enjoyed the camaraderie of AA, but anyway.
You know, anything could go because some guys would be like, you know what, didn't have such a bad week. Sure.
Yeah.
Did this and this worked and this was, and talk about their wins, you know? So it's like little failures and little successes and and you know what? I woke up and I'm going to do it again tomorrow.
So what I find quite interesting here is that the interviewer, Dax, started talking about the character defects. And when somebody shares honestly and openly about these defects, you feel the need to share back. Now, what I found very interesting here, and I don't really know so much about Dax Shepard, but what was so interesting is Brad Pitt didn't then start saying, talking about character defects, because in AA, character defects are like a central part of the recovery program. And steps 4 and 5 are acknowledging these character defects. But Brad Pitt seemed to reframe it and then just start talking about the positives. Yeah, I'll hear this guy and he has this success and this win. I just thought that was very interesting. So rather than get stuck on the point that the interviewer said, is he was like, well, I just kind of take the good parts out of it. Because in AA, what you do is in steps 4 and 5 is you admit that you have character defects and then you've got to admit them to another person. So you've literally got to tell them, I'm selfish, I'm dishonest, I'm not a good person. And then in step 6 and 7 is you've got to give this up to a higher power. And you ask for the removal of these character defects. So I don't know how serious Brad Pitt takes the 12 steps because he seemed to just kind of brush over this. And maybe for him, it's just a support network, a way for him to kind of let it go. Because where does somebody like him go? But we don't get any more on that. So that's why I think it would have been so good if they just went another level deeper.
Given the context in which we met, which is like really heightened honesty and vulnerability.
Yeah.
Does it make you nervous to have to talk with me in public?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, great.
We can say men's group, right? It was a men's group.
Okay, interesting. So notice that he didn't actually mention AA until the interviewer pulled it out of him. Not that I think that he was ashamed of that. I'm quite sure that he's been public about it in the past. But he says men's group. I don't know if there were men's meetings. When I went to AA, it was always mixed. So I do have a feeling that it does feel like a little bit more exclusive, this meeting that they go to. I don't know. That's a conspiracy theory, right? I have no idea. That's me making an assumption. I actually have no idea. But anyway.
It was AA. It was when I first was getting sober. And I just thought it was just incredible men sharing their experiences, their foibles, their missteps, their wants, their aches, and a lot of humor with it. And I thought it was a really special experience. Coming from the Ozarks where we're like, everything's great. And so I do this interview and I say this and I got admonished by someone of the higher ups.
Oh, you did?
It's anonymous.
So he said he got admonished by one of the higher-ups in AA. And what he's talking about here is AA actually preaches this idea of being publicly anonymous. And I'll quickly read a quote from the 11th tradition of AA. They say, our relations with the general public should be characterized by personal anonymity. We think AA ought to avoid sensational advertising. Our names and pictures as AA members ought not be broadcast, filmed, or publicly printed. Our public relations should be guided by the principle of attraction rather than promotion. There is never need to praise ourselves. We feel it better to let our friends recommend us. I'm not quite sure of why this is a thing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we've got to respect Brad Pitt for even opening up about this and bringing it back to AA.
There was a period of time where if you were known to be an alcoholic, you would be run out of your neighborhood. You couldn't find employment. There was a great reason for it. But even deeper than that is they didn't want alcoholics just showing up at their doorstep because no one had a fucking solution. And you would be kind of inviting just the town drunks to show up. So a lot of reasons. My excuse, because I say it openly and I've gotten some criticism, is like, I've had a couple dozen, maybe more people come up to me in the last 7 years and go like, hey man, I'm the best man in my brother's wedding and my family wouldn't talk to me. And I found out about AA from you. And I'm like, I'll take that dude over 1,000 fucking
I've had
haters.
a few of those as well. Would always have this, I really respected it. Was really open, honest, was a way to kind of take that whatever the theme kind of seemed to go in the evening and then put it in the funniest kind of package. And it meant a lot to me. Really did.
I mean, good for him. I'll link to the full interview down below. And if you also click the video on the screen now, I'm going to show you about Bradley Cooper's journey to stopping drinking.